Okay, welcome all. Let us begin. I hope most of you are there already. 40 present today. I'm not going to admit anyone now. Well, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So, up till last turn, we discussed about the various classification of e-commerce, and we also discussed the benefits and concerns of e-commerce. And I told you that we'll be discussing B2B and B2C and C2C in greater details later on. So today is the time when we shall discuss this. B2B, as I said, is business to business. B2C is business to customer, and C2C customer to customer. We shall discuss these three now in greater detail. B2B e-commerce, as I said, there are two parties involved, but both the involved parties are business corporations or business organizations. So one of the business organization is buyer, another one is the seller. B2B e-commerce involves inter-organizational transaction and interactions. We have already discussed about inter-organizational e-commerce and intra-organizational e-commerce. B2B involves inter-organizational transaction and interaction, means between two different business houses. But within those business houses, everything is already happening in the electronic mode. So intra-organizational is already there. But essentially, B2B is between two different organizations which are buying and selling, right? Or which may not be buying and selling, not necessarily that it is buying, selling e-commerce. It is both buying, selling and non-buying, selling. Next important point about it is that it enables electronic relationships with various involved business corporations like distributors, like resellers, like suppliers, like other business partners, competitors, etc. Right? Another important aspect about B2B e-commerce is that here in this case, one organization demands something from another organization. So it is demand wise organizational. The purchase volume or transaction volume in this case, B2B, is high, right? As compared to when individuals buy something. I think someone is knocking at the door. Moin Ali Rizvi, be on time. You're too late. Transaction volume is high. Now, as far as nature of buying is concerned, B2B e-commerce is more professional rather than being more personal. And when individuals buy something from an organization, that is more personal, right? The customers involved as compared to B2C. When we buy something, say many people buy from one organization. So there are many people in B2C, but in case of B2B, the number of customers are fewer as compared to B2C, right? The negotiation to buy something is complex as compared to B2C, where individuals buy. So the negotiation is not that difficult, right? It is simpler. Decision making is simpler. Single person, you have to buy something, you take decision buy or not to buy something. But in case of B2B, a group of people, management is involved, a number of people are involved. So it involves negotiations, not individual decisions. It involves negotiations, and decision making is complex, right? And it is not by individual, it is multiple. So in this case, transaction volumes are high, negotiations are complex, decision making is multiple. How to sell the products, how to advertise the product is very important aspect, right? When Pepsi's or Coca-Cola is being sold to a larger people, advertising plays an important role. We buy so many things after watching advertisements on the television, on your mobile phones, on the hoarding boards, in the magazines, in the newspapers, right? So advertising or promotion of a particular product or service is an important aspect. But in case of B2B, it has not a major role to play. It is more direct, right? So advertising may not play an important role here. The nature of buying is more professional. So promotional methods are contacts and relationships. Majority of the organizations, they have old contacts or new contacts, right? They are not affected by the advertisement and all. So it is more contact and relationships are important. What is important here that both are all involved in organization, they must trust each other. Then only this kind of e-commerce can flourish in a better way. B2B contributes to lower the purchase cost. It contributes in reducing the inventory level. It contributes in lowering the sales and marketing costs. It contributes in enhancing the efficiency of the system, overall system, e-commerce system, right? So these are the very advantageous aspect of the B2B e-commerce. Some of the popular B2B applications where the relationship between partners have been affected a lot includes supply chain management. It includes procurement management. It includes JIT, just in time delivery. It includes EDI, electronic data interchange, etc. Now, to have more closer look of the system, will be looking at it in more detail. B2B e-commerce, as I said, is a very important commerce type of commerce, and it takes place, and it is very prevalent and very popular. Modern days, there are several models of B2B e-commerce applications. On the basis of who controls the marketplace, there are various B2B models. One of the model is known as supplier centric model or sell side marketplace model. This is one of the very important aspect. What happens in supplier centric model or sell side model, as the name implies, it is supplier centric or sell side marketplace, means those organizations which are playing the role of a seller, they are responsible for creating the electronic marketplace, right? So in this, the electronic stores or electronic marketplace are manufacturer or seller or supplier driven, right? The supplier sets up the electronic marketplace and it maintains the product catalogs, order and transaction informations, and customer database and other related things, right? And a customer, which is again a business organization, in our case in B2B, a customer means the buying business organization. They may access the supplier server for information, for order placement, for payment, for querying, and for any other purpose, right? So in supplier centric B2B model, everything, the marketplace is maintained by the seller, and the buyer organization, business organization, they go to the electronic marketplace, which is opposed, quite contrary to the second type, which is buyer centric model or buy side model, right? Buy side marketplace. What happens in this? In buy side marketplace, as the name implies, which is also known as procurement, e-procurement, a model where major businesses with high volume purchase capacity, they create their electronic marketplace for procurement and acquisition by starting, say for example, a website on their own. Means the electronic marketplace is maintained by the buyers rather than sellers. And now what is expected here, that the seller will come and see for opportunity of selling something, right? So the buyers, they invite potential suppliers by placing what? Quotations, which is technically known as RFQ, request for quotation, RFQ, which is a very important document in business. So what happens? The buyer business, they put a request for quotations on their websites, and the various suppliers, majority of them practically are pre-approved. As I said, that both the buyers and seller business organization, they, in case of B2B, know each other. They know about each other's credibility, their financial health, their other details, as compared to B2C, where buying organizations do not have any knowledge about the customers who come and buy things, right? So here in this case, what happens? The buyer who wishes to purchase something, they create the electronic marketplace of their own. They put request for quotation, the potential suppliers who already have, means who are pre-approved or who already have relationship, business relationship with the buying organization, they come and they place their quotations in response to the RFQ. So everything here in this case is being managed electronically by the buying business, and everything is being done by the selling business in electronic mode. Both buyer centric or more supplier centric model, it suits to large organizations who can afford this kind of infrastructure, who have sufficient finance ready for investment in this kind of marketplace, or who can regularly upgrade their infrastructure which is needed for an effective electronic marketplace. But for middle size and for a small size organization, this kind of an arrangement, means supplier centric model or buyer centric model, may not suit. So another option is intermediary centric model, means procurement using a third party, which can be supplier centric, which can be buyer centric. It can have, means the electronic marketplace is created by a third party, right? Now middle size or small size organizations, they go to the third party, and the third party provides the services. So in this, the third party sets up the electronic marketplace and attracts both the buying and selling business organizations to interact with each other. And the third party maintains the relevant information and update it regularly and support usually full order fulfillment. What does it mean, full order fulfillment? Means starting from providing information to order taking and processing and finally the payments. So everything is being done by the third party. For what? It is providing it as a service. So they charge either the buying organization or the selling organization for the kind of services they provide. So this model is most appropriate, as I said, for medium and small size organizations. And the buying organization or the selling organization, they pay a fee for the services being provided by the third party and for handling support services like payments, etc. Another type of B2B model is virtual corporation. A virtual corporation is what? It is, as I said, not a real corporation. It is a virtual organization. It consists of several business partners. Means it is not owned by an individual, several business partners which are collaborating to exploit a specific market opportunity and are sharing costs and resources for the purpose of producing a product or service. The very important aspect or the very important characteristics of this kind of organization, means the virtual corporation, is that it is highly flexible. Note it down. It is highly flexible and it is temporary in nature. So it is highly flexible and temporary network of independent companies, such as designers, such as manufacturers, such as competitors. What they do, they link together through the use of IT to share their skills, to share costs and access to each other's marketplace. And as I said, it is temporary, it is very flexible. Means anybody can come and they can add themselves to it, they can move out of it, right? And it is a temporary network. It is not permanent in nature. As soon as the opportunity is exploited, the virtual corporations more often than not will disappear and it will cease to exist. So it is in actuality a dynamic rather than a static organization. It is dynamic rather than a static organization. And it makes use of e-commerce platforms. What are e-commerce platforms? You have already studied in your previous class. You must have studied the networking paper. Second unit deals with it. It includes internet, it includes intranet, it includes groupware, it includes video conferencing, and it includes groupware support system for communication and collaboration among dispersed business partners, right? It includes EDI, it includes electronic fund transfer, it includes knowledge based sharing, it includes video conferencing, and many more, and many more. So this is another very important aspect. Virtual corporation, as I said, it may be buying, selling, but majority of the virtual corporations are non-buying, selling. So they are basically collaborative commerce between two business organizations. We have already discussed about collaborative commerce in the last lecture, right? So what are the important highlights? Virtual corporation is temporary in nature. It is highly flexible, and it is very useful for in a global kind of business. There may be smaller and middle-sized organizations who may be specialized into one or two kind of, you know, business expertise. For them, different smaller organization may be doing different things. जैसे एक कार बनाना होगा या ताला बनाना होगा, तो ताला स्टार्ट से फिनिश एक ही ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में नहीं होता है. उसके छोटे छोटे पार्ट्स होते हैं. कोई छोटे छोटे, अलीगढ़ में तो बहुत से छोटे घरों में लोग कोई कुछ चीज कोई बना रहा है, कोई पार्ट कुछ बना रहा है, कोई लीवर कुछ बना रहा है, कहीं कुछ बन रहा है, और सब छोटे छोटे पार्ट्स इकट्ठा होकर के एक जगह फिर कहीं असेंबल हो जाते हैं. फिर उनके साथ और प्रोसेसिंग होती है और बहुत सारा काम होता है. तो इसी तरह से ये छोटे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस आपस में मिल करके अगर अगर लॉक का एक बिजनेस करना चाहते हैं, तो दुनिया की कई ऐसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मिल करके ये काम कर सकते हैं. ऐसे कोई कार डिजाइन करना हो, है ना, ऐसे ही कोई 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 बड़ा व्हीकल डिजाइन करना हो, कोई बड़ी बिल्डिंग डिजाइन करना हो, बुर्ज खलीफा टाइप, तो एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के पास की बात नहीं है, कई छोटे छोटे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. तो ये क्या है? ये अपॉर्चुनिस्टिक वैल्यू है इसकी. ठीक है ना, कि कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी एकदम से एग्जिस्ट करती तो सिर्फ मोनोपोली ना हो बड़े ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की, छोटी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन भी मिलकर के एक बड़ी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनाएंगी, और बनाने के बाद क्या करेंगी? उस अपॉर्चुनिटी को जैसे ही एक्सप्लॉइट कर लेंगे, मतलब वो बिजनेस कर लेंगे, अपना अपना शेयर कमा लेंगे, प्रॉफिट देखेंगे, डिसइंटीग्रेट, राइट? So let us move on. Now let us see B2B purchase process in greater details. This is one diagram. I want all of yours attention on this. See it carefully. Just for understanding purpose, this diagram is there. There are two types of organization. One is vendor, which is this one, right? This one. And this area belongs to another organization. There are two organizations. One is vendor, means seller, and this is showing the buyer. A number of activities that take place, right? What happens? First of all, after need analysis, it identified that this buying organization, it needs something. So it has many offices. receiving office, inspection office, store office, purchase office, account office, right? The purchase office, after getting details from, say, for example, a higher level management, they create the purchase order, and this purchase order is sent to the vendor. On receiving this, the vendor acknowledges, you can see, right? And vendor delivers the item. The dotted line is showing item delivery, and the solid line is showing document flow. So it delivers the item along with the delivery note. All right. Up where it is given to the receiving office. So receiving office, on receiving the delivery note, it asks for the purchase order which was actually placed here, and it compares the delivery note with the purchase order in order to ascertain that exactly this delivery is against this particular purchase order, and the delivered product is actually what was requested from the vendor, right? If everything is fine, so it is these two, delivery note and purchase order, is compared, and if it is fine, it is sent along with the item to the inspection office. Otherwise, if there is any change in the purchase order or the delivery note, the discrepancy is noted by the receiving office, and the purchase office is informed accordingly. Now, if everything is smooth, upon receiving this delivery note, what inspection office does, it physically checks the item. If everything is fine, the item is accepted, and accepted item notice sent to the store office along with the accepted item. Or if there is any change, those items which will be accepted, they are sent, and accepted item notes are sent. And if there is some breakage, etc., the rejected item along with the rejected item note is sent to the purchase office, right? So 10 सामान अगर हमने मंगाया था, गिलास मंगाए थे 10 गिलास, उसमें से 8 गिलास सही निकला, 2 टूटे हुए निकले, तो 2 टूटा हुआ गिलास और नोट, वो डिटेल यहाँ आपका परचेज ऑफिस अकाउंट ऑफिस को बताएगा ना, क्योंकि पेमेंट उसी बेसिस पे होगा, राइट? So that is sent to the purchase office, and all these things is being done electronically. This is important. If it is B2B, inside the organization, within the organization, inter or organizational e-commerce, which is basically e-business, is taking place in an electronic. So everything, every office is interacting with each other using electronic mode, right? The store office sends a note which is called items taken into a stock note to the accounts office, which serves as payment authorization to the account office. जितना सामान लिया उतने की डिटेल भेज दी, ठीक है ना? When account office receives this, it already has vendors invoice, so it sends a request to the customer's bank, the customer's business bank, right? The customer business bank is instructed by the account office that this much amount is due to the vendor because they have already received it. So accordingly, through electronic fund transfer, the credit is transferred from customer's bank to the vendor's bank. Credit is what comes in. So customer's bank will be debited, vendor's bank will be credited, वेंडर के बैंक में पैसा आएगा तो क्रेडिट एडवाइस, किसको पैसा मिल गया है, this is informed to the vendor, right? So all this thing is being done electronically, and inter-business organizational interaction is also being done. Means this organization A and this organization B, which is vendor, they are interacting electronically with each other, right? So as I said, the parties involved, they are close business associates. They know about each other. They know about each other's reputation. They know about each other's financial health. So here in this case, the trust is not a big factor. Means there is a trusted relationship between these two business organizations. Everything, if it is being done electronically, lot of technology would be required. What would be the supporting technology for both of the organization, for working within the organization also, and for working with the organization, inter-organizational and for intra-organizational activities? Technologies which would be supportive are LAN, it can be MAN, it can be WAN. You have already studied, right? It can be internet, it can be intranet, it can be extranet, client server technology, database servers, TCP IP, right? Backend information system integration, World Wide Web services, many more. And as I said, EDI and EFT. I'll have a few words about this thing. Apart from this, various types of security technologies, they will play an important role. Here in this diagram, we have not discussed about the payment method, how it will be paid. In majority of the business to business commerce, the payment medium is check based payment. ज्यादातर बिजनेस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जब एक दूसरे से वो करते हैं तो चेक देते हैं एक दूसरे को, या आज के दौर में इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फंड ट्रांसफर, EFT is very common. What is EFT? It is credit transfer between banks where fund flows directly from the payer's bank account to the payee's bank account on the instruction by the payer to the bank clearly that its account should be debited and the vendor's account should be credited. As you can see in step 8, where account office is requesting to credit vendor's bank account. So the customer's bank through EFT is transferring fund. Their EFT is playing a role. EFT stands for electronic fund transfer. And how these two organizations are interacting with each other? Again, same technologies are being used. As I said, EDI is one such technology which comes handy. EDI stands for electronic data interchange. EDI. Electronic data interchange. What is EDI? EDI provides documents in standard electronic format. It is computer to computer transfer of the standard business documents. Standard business documents. Say for example, मैं कंपनी ए हूं, आप कंपनी बी हैं, तो आपने अपने फॉर्मेट में मुझे किसी तरह से लिख करके भेजा, तो उसको मुझे अपने फॉर्मेट में कन्वर्ट करने में इट विल टेक टाइम. इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डेटा इंटरचेंज ensures that all the standard documents which are used in these business cases, they have been standardized, right? So standard electronic formats for communication between businesses, and it includes number of different types of documents. Say, for example, we have discussed about RFQ, request for comment, right? We discussed about acknowledgement of RFQ. We discussed about quotations. We discussed about purchase order. We discussed about purchase order acknowledgement, right? Payment advice, vendors invoice, credit advice. There are many things, right? So EDI is inter-process communication, which is paperless between two organizations of what? Of the standard electronic formats of the standard business documents. There are two standards worldwide. One is ANSI X.12 standard, and another one is ADFACT, EDIFACT, ADFACT, electronic data interchange for administration, commerce, and trade, right? It is ISO 9735 standard. So there are two types of competing standard in the market, but most popular one is ANSI X.12 standard. If your pen and paper is ready, you can note it down. Say, for example, we discussed that two business houses, they have understanding, they know each other. So vendors may be registered at the buyer's location. So vendor registration must be there. So vendor registration form should be there. Form number 838, ANSI standard form number 838 is for vendor registration. The form number 840 is for RFQ, request for quotation. The form number 850 is for purchase order. The form number 843 is a response to request for quotation. The form number 855 is purchase order acknowledgement. And there are many more, thousands and hundreds and thousands of such documents are there in business situations. And all those documents have been standardized. So when a standard document, paperless document, one process from the buyer side sends to the other process, is immediately processed. So it brings a lot of ease, and it provides security, and it provides authorization and authentication of the documents which are being exchanged. That may be ANSI format, that may be EDIFACT format. So these two organizations which are interacting with each other, they must be using one of these standard, right? If both of them are using the same standard, it would be more easier. Otherwise, what would be required? Some translator would be required. So if organization A is communicating with organization B with a different format, there must be some translator which can convert A's document into EDI format, which is understood by B. Are you getting my point? In the same format, to provide items or to fulfill the orders of B, this A may not be producer. They may be simply supplier. So they can have business relationship with other business organizations, right? ए को बी का जो आइटम है उसको प्रोवाइड करने के लिए सब चीज के पास नहीं होगी कि वो किसी और से लेगा, वो और किसी से लेगा, उसके ऊपर और कोई होगा. तो देयर विल बी अ चेन, राइट? वी विल सप्लाई to A and then A will supply to B, right? This is called supply chain management. This is another very important aspect. Supply chain management. Supply chain management is what? It is flow of information, flow of material, payment, and services from raw material suppliers through a factory and warehouse to the end customer. And there are various forms of supply chain management. Say, for example, supplier management, which includes building a relationship with geographically dispersed suppliers. Inventory management means reducing cycle time between order and dispatch and keeping the inventory level to a minimum. Distribution management using EDI for moving business documents between partners. Channel management, which is dissemination of information about changing operation condition, for example, changing of policies or prices or delivery schedules, etc., to the trading partners. It also includes payment management, means sending and receiving payments between companies and suppliers through electronic fund transfer. Sales force management means improving communication and information flow among the sales, customer services, and production function through automation. So SCM is also one of the very important aspects. So all these things together, they create a good B2B. I hope you must have. Do you have any question? If everything is being done in an electronic form and using these technologies that we discussed, the situation will be known as B2B purchase. And we have shown this B2B purchase process here. Now, let us move on to B2C, business to consumer electronic commerce. B2C electronic commerce, as I said, takes place between a business house and an individual. So, parties involved are business and individual. It is customer oriented electronic commerce where emphasis is on selling products and services to the end user. Here, the demand is individual. The purchase volume is smaller. Distribution is more direct, or it may be intermediary centric. Means सामान manufacturer direct यूजर को आपको नहीं भेजता, बल्कि वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर को भेजता है, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर रिटेलर को भेजता है, रिटेलर आपको भेजता है. So these are intermediaries. So it may be direct or it may be intermediaries. आप किसी मॉल में जाते हैं तो वहां चीजें थोड़ी सस्ती इसलिए मिल जाती हैं तो वहां से ये जो बीच के डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स हैं, बीच के रिटेलर्स हैं या रीसेलर्स हैं, उनको कम कर देते हैं. तो कम करते हैं तो जो प्रॉफिट सेविंग होती है उसका फायदा डिस्काउंट के फॉर्म में आपको मिल जाता है. सो बड़े मॉल्स में या कहीं जाते हैं तो चीजें थोड़ी सस्ती क्यों मिल जाती हैं, उसके पीछे ये है बिकॉज इट इज मोर डायरेक्ट. तो जितना डायरेक्ट होगा उतना बेनिफिट कस्टमर का होगा. नेचर ऑफ बाइंग इज पर्सनल, एज आई सेड. Nature, number of buyers are many as compared to B2B, they were fewer. Decision making is single, वहां multiple था. Negotiation is simple, वहां कई लोग involved थे, है ना. Advertising and other promotional methods play a very important role. As a customer, you are influenced by the various forms of advertisement to take a decision to buy or not to buy a product. किसी एक प्रोडक्ट के बारे में उसके कॉम्पिटिटर्स होंगे तो भी आपको वॉशिंग मशीन है सैमसंग की भी, एलजी की भी और एफबी की भी और 10 कंपनी की है, सब एडवर्टाइजमेंट कर रहे हैं. कहीं सलमान खान, कहीं शाहरुख खान, कहीं कोई, है ना. ये सब भी एक इंपॉर्टेंट, ये सब चीजें अफेक्ट करती हैं आपको आपका मूड बनाने के लिए. सो ये एडवर्टाइजिंग एक इंपॉर्टेंट रोल है. प्लस आप और क्या देखते हो, फीचर वाइज कौन बेटर है, प्राइस वाइज कौन बेटर है, लाइफ वाइज कौन बेटर है, कस्टमर सर्विसेज वाइज कौन बेटर है, एंड अकॉर्डिंगली यू टेक डिसीजन टू बाय और नॉट टू बाय सर्टेन थिंग. मेजर B2B applications are retail industry, where retailing is done electronically. A lot of things you buy in modern day, you buy everything through, from smaller pens to utensils to many things of your use. Say for example, you are maybe using Amazon, you may be placing your orders, you may be buying your shoes, you may be buying your t-shirts, shirts, undergarments, many more, mobile phones, and many things you are buying. So it is being done through e-retailing और e-store friends. E-retailing का मतलब है सोलो स्टोर्स, अकेली दुकान, या फिर इट इज बीइंग डन थ्रू ई स्टोर फ्रंट्स, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मॉल्स जो हैं, जैसे अमेजोन जो है वो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मॉल की तरह है, वहां से आप चीजें खरीदते हैं। इसी तरह से कॉम्पिटिटर्स मार्केट में है, यू नो अबाउट इट। दूसरा एप्लीकेशन जो है वो सर्विस इंडस्ट्री का, विच इज फ्लोरिशिंग, आई मीन B2C इज फ्लोरिशिंग इन, पहले तो रिटेलिंग फेल हो गया, बाद में धीरे धीरे रिटेलिंग ने पिक किया, लेकिन ये वाला इंडस्ट्री शुरू से B2C का चलता रहा। सर्विस इंडस्ट्री, say for example, it includes entertainment like movie on demand, like video on demand, like various types of games that you play online, gambling, etc. Financial services like home banking, financial news, payment of bills, security tradings, etc. Essential services like electronic catalog, traveling, telemedicine, and many more. What is telemedicine? Telemedicine is providing medical services from very simple to very advanced to the distant patient, using telecommunication infrastructure. तो बहुत सिंपल का ये है कि कोई दवा बता दी, बहुत सा सिंपल का ये है कि आपकी रेडियोलॉजी की रिपोर्ट्स और उसकी फिल्म्स अपलोड करती गई, हाई क्वालिटी फिल्म्स, उसको डॉक्टर्स ने इवेलुएट कर लिया और किसी स्पेशलिस्ट ने उसको देख के डायग्नोज कर दिया। आपके कई तरह के मेडिकल एग्जामिनेशन होते हैं, पैथोलॉजिकल भी और नॉन पैथोलॉजिकल भी, वो सारी चीजें हो सकती। और आज के डेट में distant robotic surgery, high class robotic surgery is also being done. You all know it. ये कोई नई चीज अब नहीं रह गई है। So बहुत simple to बहुत advanced. So this is called telemedicine, which has a lot of growth potential in India and especially third world countries or developed countries where the medical infrastructure is not very good. Say for example, we have many smaller hospitals at far-flung places all over India in different villages, where what to talk of a specialist. I mean, Norman, I mean, plain MBBS doctors, they don't want to go and work there because of the lack of infrastructure which is available there. Even during the course of this pandemic, through telemedicine, many different patients are being treated. Even Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College has started telemedicine services for OPTs because only it has been converted into the COVID hospital. So other OPTs are non-functional and patients are there already. बीमारी खत्म थोड़ी हो गई है. So through telemedicine, but as I said that when we make use of tele means from distance. तो टेलीमेडिसिन सर्विसेज आप फोन पे भी प्रोवाइड कर सकते हो। टेलीमेडिसिन सर्विसेज थ्रू majority of the COVID patients are being examined and treated through the specialist doctors are not going and personally attending the patients. वो वीडियो के थ्रू उनको देख रहे हैं, उनकी कंडीशंस को देख रहे हैं, उनके मॉनिटर्स को देख करके उनकी कंडीशंस को एसेस कर रहे हैं, and the supporting staff were there with them. They're providing the details and they're being guided by the specialist. तो स्पेशलिस्ट अगर बीमार हो जाएगा और इन्फेक्ट हो जाएगा, जबकि कुछ बीमार हो रहे हैं, इन्फेक्ट हो रहे हैं, तो टेलीमेडिसिन का एक बहुत ग्रोथ पोटेंशियल इंडिया में। इंफॉर्मेशन सर्विसेज लाइक ऑनलाइन जर्नल्स, न्यूज डायरेक्टरीज, मैट्रिमोनियल्स, online job markets, real estates, etc., etc. Now let us have a closer look of B2C purchase process. B2C purchase process. As you can see in this diagram, it is B2C for a commodity type item. Understanding, this is buyer and this is seller. So seller is maintaining the website, right? Whenever a buyer has to buy something, it requests to the seller and seller displays the catalogs of the item. Upon choosing the items, the customer places orders. When it places orders, it sends also the details of how it will going to make payment. As I said, in B2B, we discussed that majority of payment is check based. प्रैक्टिकल जो होता है चेक पेमेंट होता है, चेक बेस्ड पेमेंट होता है, एक दूसरे पे ट्रस्टेड रिलेशनशिप हो तो यहाँ पे एक कस्टमर दुनिया के एक कोने में, दूसरा वेंडर दुनिया के कोने में कैसे ट्रस्ट करेगा, तो कस्टमर बताएगा कि वो कैसे पेमेंट करेगा. यहाँ अजम्पशन हमारा ये है, एंड दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट, विल हैव टू look at it. It is important. So our assumption is that it is credit card based. So it sends credit card details. So it places orders along with the credit card details. Upon receiving this, the vendor sends the credit card details to the credit card company. The credit card company sends that after checking the credit card, okays or denies the credit card. Suppose it okays the credit card, that yes, it is valid. Upon receiving this, it acknowledges the order. Now the vendor does not have everything ready, so vendor has its distributor, so it informs the orders the distributor to get the item ready, and it sends it. So distributor informs the vendor's warehouse, right? And vendors send the shipping advice to the vendor house and the details of the customers, right? In the meanwhile, what happens? The credit card company sends the debit advice to the customer's bank, and customer's bank sends through EFT, credits the vendor's bank, debits the account of customer and credits the vendor's, and informs the customer, sends the bill to the customer that your account has been. So debit advice is sent to the customer and item is shipped. As you can see in this diagram, here in this case, as I said, that for customer's point of view, it is difficult to trust all the vendors until unless the vendors are very trustworthy, like Amazon, like Flipkart, right? But not all the organizations, vending organizations, selling organizations are well known or trusted. So trust is an important. In the same manner, for vendors, how to trust the customer is also important. So most important aspect, you must note down that trust is important. Both do not know normally each other. So from customer's point of view, non-performance or carelessness on the part of vendor is an important issue. From vendor's point of view, denial or denial by the customer. Denial का मतलब ऑर्डर प्लेस किया और बाद में गया और हमने कहा कि नहीं, हमने ऑर्डर प्लेस नहीं किया था, तो इसको टेक्निकली कहते हैं रेप्यूडिएशन. REPUDIATION. रेप्यूडिएशन मींस डिनायल फ्रॉम प्रीवियस कमिटमेंट. तो अचीव क्या करना है? नॉन रेप्यूडिएशन, मतलब नॉन डिनायल फ्रॉम द प्रीवियस कमिटमेंट. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. When both do not each other, what becomes important is the involvement of a third party for authentication, who can guarantee to the vendor that the customer is correct, who can guarantee to the customer that the vendor is correct. So this is another important aspect. In B2C, involvement of third party to authenticate is very important. Customer is authenticated by the third party, generally by the vendors, but how to authenticate vendor, it is an important issue. Another important thing is that, see, credit card details are being shared, as we assumed here, with the vendors, that may be misused. So it may be compromised. how to trust the vendor that the credit card details being shared with the vendor will not be misused. So what should be the medium, right? That is very important. Even if customer is giving the credit card to the vendor and vendor is not misusing it, there is no guarantee that the credit card details being provided by the customer is not fraudulent. It has not been stolen. How can merchant ascertain that this is not stolen? So this is another very important issue. As far as technology is concerned, vendor will have to maintain, in any case, the electronic marketplace, or it may, make use of the services provided by a third party. From customer's point of view, what is required is either a computer or a mobile phone with connectivity, smartphone with the connectivity. So it does not require very huge investment from the customer's point of view, and of course from the vendor's point of view also. Here you can see in this case, when vendor takes the order, so there is a relationship between its distributor. Vendor is one organization, distributor is one organization. So there is a relationship between two. So a B2B is going on. So a supply chain link is important. Vendor does not necessarily have the inventory of the product or items. Rather, it is having the catalog only and a specification only. Whenever the order is there, just in time it requests for the product, finished product, or it requests for the semi-finished product to be. So this is called just in time. So just in time comes into picture. Just in time manufacturing, just in time delivery, है ना? जैसे किसी को बर्थडे पे आपको विश करना होता है, तो आप क्या करते हो? ऑर्डर प्लेस कर देते हो. दिल्ली में है, बॉम्बे में है, यूएस में है, यूके में है, तो कोई सी भी एक वेबसाइट जहां आप प्लेस करते हो, वो अपने डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर को, लोकल को कांटेक्ट करके वो एक लिंक. सो यहाँ पे एक सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट का एक रोल प्ले कर रहा है B2B के केस में, एंड जस्ट इन टाइम मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इज प्लेइंग अ रोल. Is it clear? So again, the same telecommunication infrastructure would be required, but not necessarily at the level which is required at the B2B. But network would be required, client server technology would be required, EDI will be also be there, LAN, MAN, WAN, internet, intranet, extranet, virtual private network, value added network, EDI, right? Distributed and client server technology, database server, web server, information system, other security technologies, they all have to make a role to play here as well. I hope I explain it to you well. If you have any question, you may ask. किसी को कुछ पूछना है तो पूछिए, नहीं तो आगे बढ़ता हूं. Next is C2C, consumer to consumer. C2C, where individual sells directly to an individual. What do they sell? They sell old items, they sell used items, they sell antiques items, or major applications of this is auction, classified, personal services like astrology, tutoring, beauty advices, lifestyle advices, medical advices, and many more. Are you getting my point? In this kind of system, C2C, what happens, as I said, एक आदमी, मैं हूं, एक आदमी आप हैं, हमारे पास कोई इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नहीं है बेचने के लिए, जैसे B2B या B2C में था. तो डेफिनेटली वो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मार्केट प्लेस हम किसी तरह से मेंटेन नहीं कर पाए, तो हम क्या करेंगे, किसी थर्ड पार्टी के इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मार्केट प्लेस को टेम्पोरली यूज करेंगे, अपना काम किया, ओके। अभी एक घंटे के लिए हम बायर हैं, अभी एक घंटे के बाद हम सेलर हैं, हमारा रोल स्विच करता रहे, राइट। सो देयर इज ऑलवेज अ मिडिल मैन इन बिटवीन, देयर इज ऑलवेज अ मिडिल मैन इन बिटवीन, एंड दिस मिडिल मैन हैज अ रोल टू प्ले। ऑक्शन क्या है, वी हैव ऑलरेडी, auction is a very important market mechanism in which seller places offers and buyers make sequential bids. The very important aspect, a very important characteristic of this kind of market mechanism is the competitive nature by which the price, final price of the product is reached or settled. So here price is not fixed, it is dynamic, it is changing. So dynamic pricing is there. There are two type of auctions, forward auction and reverse auction. Reverse auction we have already discussed. It fits in the buy side model. Buy side model हम बता चुके हैं कि हमको कोई सामान खरीदना है, तो हम बायर हैं, तो हमने अपना मार्केट प्लेस बनाया और रिक्वेस्ट फॉर कोटेशन दिया। बहुत से लोग आएंगे, जैसे B2B प्रोक्योरमेंट, हमने बहुत से लोग आएंगे, कोटेशन उसके बदले में जो सबसे सस्ता होगा, लोअर बिडर बिड्स, है ना, एट अ एक्सेप्टेबल क्वालिटी लेवल, द लोएस्ट बिडर नॉर्मली विंस। इसको रिवर्स ऑक्शन कहते हैं। फॉरवर्ड ऑक्शन तीन तरह का होता है, ये सेल साइड मॉडल में फिट होता है। इंग्लिश ऑक्शन, यंकी ऑक्शन, डच ऑक्शन। इंग्लिश ऑक्शन में क्या होता है, एक बार में एक आइटम, इट इज रेडी फॉर सेल, बिडिंग स्टार्ट होती है, प्राइस एक 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 एक, एक फिक्स की जाती है। एज द ऑक्शन क्लॉक टिक्स, the price goes high and high and high, and the highest bidder wins. In case of Yankee auction, multiple items of different types, बाकी सब कुछ उसी की तरह होता है। आप इसका भी एक रिजर्व प्राइस होगा, एक टेबल, एक चेयर, एक कुर्सी, या हम घर छोड़ करके यहाँ से जा रहे हैं, हमारे पास फ्रिज है, ये सारी चीजों को एक जगह रख लिया और एक बेसिक प्राइस रखा है जिसको रिजर्व प्राइस करते हैं, है ना। यहाँ से फिर एज द ऑक्शन क्लॉक टिक्स, द प्राइस गोज हाई, हर बिडर थोड़ा बढ़ा बढ़ा के बोलता है, हाईएस्ट बिडर विंस। तीसरे तरह का ऑक्शन है जिसको कहते हैं डच ऑक्शन। डच ऑक्शन में क्या होता है, मल्टीपल आइडेंटिकल आइटम्स, मतलब बहुत सारे टीवी एक बार में, या बहुत सारे फ्रिज एक बार में, बहुत सारे फल, बहुत सारे, जो ये नॉर्मली सब्जी की मंडियों में ये काम होता है, लौकी आया, 10 ट्रैक्टर लौकी है, तो एक साथ उसका, इसमें क्या करते हैं, प्राइस इज सेट हाई, शुरू में ही कर दिया, उसका दाम रखा के एक एक दाम 50,000 रुपए, 10 ट्रैक्टर लौकी के, किसी ने कुछ नहीं कहा। फिर उसके बाद जैसे टाइम पास हुआ तो उसको घटाया 2 या 3 बार, जो फर्स्ट बिडर बोलेगा मेरा, उसको हो गया, है ना। तो फर्स्ट बिडर विंस। एंड देयर आर अदर डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ ऑक्शंस व्हिच आर अवेलेबल। सो ऑक्शन इज वन ऑफ द इंपॉर्टेंट। क्लासिफाइड यू ऑल नो, हम लोग हर रोज न्यूज़पेपर में एडवर्टाइजमेंट देखते हैं, ये क्लासिफाइड है, संडे में जरूर आता है, शादी ब्याह से लेके हर तरह का क्लासिफाइड आता है, क्लासिफाइड कॉलम में देखते हैं। So let us see, depending upon the level of involvement of the third party. Here we'll see the first case of C2C e-commerce, जिस केस में हमने अज्यूम किया है ए बायर है, बी सेलर है। याद रखिएगा, ए बायर है, बी सेलर है, द इंडिविजुअल्स। वाई इज अ थर्ड पार्टी, ठीक है ना, जिसको ब्रोकर या मिडिल मैन कहेंगे। अब सिंपलेस्ट फॉर्म में क्या होगा, broker makes the two parties, the two people meet each other, and these two people they carry out for the transaction. ब्रोकर का काम सिर्फ इन दोनों को मिलाना है, बाकी का काम ये दोनों अपना करेंगे, अपना खरीद फरोख्त करेंगे। ब्रोकर का क्या रोल है, it gets its commission from both the parties or from one of the party, it depends. What happens, see, B is the seller, A is the buyer, So B, post descriptions of item. The third party Y maintains a website where these details are there. A, request for the item, which is subsequently displayed by the third party. And it also displays, sends the details of B. इसका email ID से for example भेज दिया. अब क्या होगा? A will directly contact B. So what happens? They negotiate each other. This can happen on mobile phone. This can happen through email. This can happen through video calls. This can happen through multimedia video conferencing. That depends. Once everything is done, it places orders to B. B sends it to A. All the risks are between A and B. Y ने सिर्फ एक दूसरे को मिला दिया. So this is the simplest kind of classified जो normally हम लोग न्यूज़पेपर में देखते हैं. डिटेल दे दी जाती है, बाकी का काम सब लोग करते हैं, है ना. दो लोग आपस में, हमने एडवर्टाइजमेंट दे दिया, भाई मेरे पास पुराना फ्रिज और पुराना टीवी है, उसको बेचना चाहते हैं, और थ्रू थर्ड पार्टी हमने उसको एडवर्टाइजमेंट टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया में दे दिया, और टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया ने हमारा डिटेल और कॉन्टैक्ट डिटेल साथ दिया, बाकी काम हम लोग कर लेते हैं. उसके बदले में हम दोनों या कोई एक पार्टी इसको थर्ड पार्टी को पे करते हैं. More advanced version of this e-classified is where the broker, the Y, plays, more active role. The broker makes the two person negotiate the price, meet each other and negotiate the price, and then the third person, the third party or broker X takes all the responsibility until the item is delivered. And in return of it, it gets commission either from one party or from both the parties. Now it is playing a more active role here. है ना. More active role का मतलब क्या है? B आइटम की डिटेल्स इसको भेज रहा है, बी इसको आइटम भी भेज दे रहा है जो इसको ये अपने वेयर हाउस में रख रहा है. ठीक है ना. दैट हैज नॉट बीन शोन हियर. आइटम जो है आइटम भेज दे रहा है, आइटम के डिटेल्स भेज दे रहा है, ठीक है, और अपनी डिटेल्स भेज दे रहा है, और चुप होकर के बैठ जा रहा है ना. तो क्या कर रहा है? इट पोस्ट एज डिस्क्रिप्शन टू द थर्ड पार्टी, इट सेंड्स द आइटम टू द थर्ड पार्टी. नाउ द बायर ए रिक्वेस्ट फॉर द आइटम, इट इज डिस्प्लेड. The third party sends the detail of how to contact the seller B, right? They negotiate with each other in fifth step using whatever technology. अब यहाँ पे टेक्नोलॉजी सिंपल ईमेल से लेके, टेलीफोन से लेके, वीडियो फोन से लेके, वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग से लेके, मल्टी क्लास मल्टीमीडिया कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग तक पॉसिबल है. ये दोनों निगोशिएट करते हैं. निगोशिएट करने के बाद क्या होता है? The seller communicate the third party regarding the settled price. जो प्राइस सेटल हो गया उसको इन्फॉर्म कर देते हैं. बाकी का रोल अभी इनका नहीं है ना. एंड द बायर इट प्लेसेस द ऑर्डर टू वाई. देखिए पहले वाले केस में वो ऑर्डर प्लेस कर रहा था बी को, अब ये ऑर्डर प्लेस कर रहा है थर्ड पार्टी को. थर्ड पार्टी इज प्लेइंग मोर एक्टिव रोल. ठीक है. और उसके बाद ये इसको बता रहा है कि ये कैसे पेमेंट करेगा. द अजम्पशन हियर इज क्रेडिट कार्ड. अगेन later on we shall discuss there are different payment mechanism you are also using in modern days. They have their own advantages and disadvantages how the payment will be made, right? But say for example if it is credit card, on receiving these details वही बात होगी, send the credit card details to the credit card company. Credit card company okays the credit card. On receiving this, जैसे ही ओके हो गया, क्रेडिट कार्ड कंपनी एक बैंक को, है ना, मतलब बायर के बैंक को डेबिट एडवाइस भेज देता है, ठीक है। और बायर का बैंक जो है वो थ्रू इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फंड ट्रांसफर वाई, वाई का मतलब थर्ड पार्टी जो है इसके बैंक अकाउंट में, इसमें बायर नहीं इन्वॉल्व है, सेलर इन्वॉल्व नहीं है, बायर का बैंक जो है इसको रिसीव करता है और एट द सेम टाइम थर्ड पार्टी आइटम को डिलीवर कर देता है। बायर का बैंक बायर को ये बताता है कि आपका अकाउंट डेबिट हो गया है, सो दैट इज कॉल्ड डेबिट एडवाइस, बिल इज सेंड टू, है ना, डेबिट एडवाइस इज सेंड। अब जब ऐसा हो जाता है तो क्या करता है, जो थर्ड पार्टी है pays the amount received after taking कमीशन, अपना कमीशन काटने के बाद बाकी का अमाउंट जो भी प्राइस सेटल्ड होता है, चूंकि यहाँ ये वाला छठे स्टेप में ये है ना सेटल प्राइस बताया था, वो पैसा बी को ट्रांसफर कर देता है। सो दिस इज कॉल्ड अगेन ई क्लासिफाइड, वेयर इन द थर्ड पार्टी प्लेज a proactive role. Now let us see another case. This is called e-auction. अभी तक क्लासिफाइड दिखा था, अब ई ऑक्शन देखिए। Here unique auction is again playing more active role, means broker, पिछले वाले केस में बायर सेलर निगोशिएट कर रहे थे, यहां से वो वाला स्टेप हट गया। In addition to what was being done in the second case, broker negotiate on behalf of the seller. Broker takes all the responsibility until the item is delivered, and he gets commission from either from both the parties or one of the parties, right? Rest of the thing, as you can see, by seller जो है डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ द आइटम, उसकी डिटेल भेज देता है और उसके साथ क्या भेजता है, स्टार्ट प्राइस और रिजर्व प्राइस, मतलब मिनिमम कितना उस आइटम के लिए वो एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा है, वो डिटेल यहां भेज देता है। ये रह गया है, यहां नोट कर लीजिए। इट पोस्ट डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ द आइटम अलोंग विद द रिजर्व प्राइस और स्टार्ट प्राइस। अब वाई जो थर्ड पार्टी है, ब्रोकर है, उसको डिस्प्ले करता है, बायर जो है रिक्वेस्ट करता है, उसको डिस्प्ले करता है, ठीक है ना। अब बायर जो है इट प्लेसेस it makes the sequential bid again and again and again and again and again, or once a wins the auction, he places order with his credit card details. यहाँ पे भी क्रेडिट कार्ड एक assumption है, बाकी का काम वैसे ही होता है, ठीक है ना। सब कुछ फाइनल डिलीवरी के बाद क्या करता है, इस वाले स्टेप में it pays the amount received after taking its commission. This is how normally the e-auction websites work. You all know it. So this was all about C2C. So today we discussed B2B, we discussed B2C, we discussed C2C. Now I have finished. The session is now open for question and answer. If you have any question, you may ask. Please ask questions.